Hi Bowl Bakers! With Thanksgiving leftovers, you don't just have to settle for a turkey sandwich anymore. I'm going to show you how you can transform all of those leftovers into a delicious Thanksgiving leftover pie. If you love Thanksgiving dinner and you love buttery pastry, you're going to want to keep watching. As always, the recipe can be found on biggerbolderbaking.com. So this pie crust recipe I haven't shown you before. There's loads of butter in it, a little bit of flour, it's really flaky, and it's super easy to make, just like my other pie crust. So into a bowl, I'm going to add in my all-purpose flour and salt, followed by my cold butter. So this next step is to blend the butter into the flour. You can use a dough blender and it makes really light work of it, or you can simply do it with your hands, no problem at all. This is from Sweet Creations. I'm going to put a link on my website of where you can buy it. Using a dough blender just makes it really easy. You don't have to touch the butter, it doesn't get warm, it keeps everything nice and cold. And you just get your pastry made really fast. So there you go, it only takes a few minutes even when you do it by hand. And this is the texture that you're going for, kind of big, chunky, coarse breadcrumbs. So this is ready to add in our wet ingredients. So we're going to add in an egg and a little bit of cold water. Then I just take a knife and I just mix the dough together. Now be patient here, don't lash in more water thinking that it needs more. Just keep on mixing until the dough starts to come together. If it's on the drier side, that's okay. But if you put too much liquid in, you're kind of done for and it's very hard to fix it after that. I can see my dough is coming together. I added around 3.5 tablespoons of water. You might need a little bit less, you might need a little bit more. Just be careful when you're adding it in. I'm going to go in with my hands now and pull my dough together. And there we go, a nice clean bowl and one big ball of pastry. I'm going to pop this pastry into the fridge. It's a big piece, so I'm going to let it chill for around 45 minutes, an hour, and then we're going to roll it out. So to bake off your pie, I'm doing mine in this 10-inch dish. It's a big guy, it's from Good Cook. I'll put a link on my website. I really like this because it's really pretty and you can take it from the oven and bring it to the table. Butter it, you don't have to line it. Use any kind of dish that you have at home, a casserole dish, whatever you want, will work totally fine. So set your pie dish over to the side. And here on my floured surface, I have my chilled pastry. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide my pastry roughly 2/3 to 1/3. Because my pie dish is really big, I want a bigger piece of pastry for the bottom and then a smaller piece for the top. Now I'm going to roll this out on my floured surface until it's nice and thick, roughly around 1/4 inch thick. I do like this to be thicker because it's a big pie. This is a really lovely dough to work with and it will also work for any of your savory pies. So this is good, it's nice and thick. I'd say it's a little bit less than 1/4 inch. I'm just going to lift it up and then very carefully lay it into my prepared pie dish. Once you lay your pastry in your dish, just push it around gently with your fingers just to make sure it gets into all the nooks and crannies. So while my table is dirty with flour, I'm going to roll out the lid for my pie. Same deal, you want to roll it out nice and thick and just roll it at maybe 1 inch bigger than the diameter of your pie dish. Once rolled, set this piece of pastry to the side or even in the fridge and then take out all of your leftovers. So here I have a cornucopia of Thanksgiving leftovers. I have mashed potato, I've got my homemade stuffing, I have ham, turkey, homemade cranberry sauce, and gravy. Now we're going to assemble our pie meat first. So into my pie dish, I'm going to put in my ham, and then a layer of turkey. This is a really good way to use the dark turkey meat because I know not a lot of people always choose the dark turkey meat even though it's really good, but it's great to put in a pie. It's got really good flavor. And then I'm just going to spoon over some of my gravy. This just ensures that when your pie is baking, that your meat on the bottom stays really nice and moist. The thicker your gravy, the better it will be for your pie. Our next delicious layer is my favorite, mashed potato. I like to do a nice thick layer of mashed potato on top. If you don't want to put mashed potato in your pie, you can always serve it on the side. There we go. Mashed potato is just good food for any day of the year. And then I'm going to follow that with a little bit of my homemade stuffing. Now I know I made my own pie crust here, but if you want to use a store-bought pie crust, that's totally up to you. I just ask that you buy good quality because it will make all the difference to your pie. There we go. This is such a big pie. And we're not finished yet. I'm going to do another layer of gravy just to make sure that everything stays nice and moist in the pie. This is like our sauce. And then last but not least, a layer of cranberry sauce. Now I'm very generous with this because I want a little bit of sweet with almost every bite. So you can see that I did really thick layers in my pie because I want it to be really big and bold and stand out. This is not a pie for the faint of heart. Then just before we put on the lid of our pastry, I have a little bit of egg wash here, and I like to egg wash the edges just to make sure that the 2 layers of pastry stick together. And then very carefully, we're going to bring in our pastry and just gently lay it on top. Just press down the pastry to make sure that it's sealed and there's also no air bubbles. Now to decorate this pie, we're going to keep it really simple. I have a little knife here and I'm just going to go around the edges and cut it all the way straight around the dish. Exactly the shape that our dish is. Now I had a little bit of leftover pastry, and just to make it really beautiful and keep it simple at the same time, I cut out a few leaves, perfect for fall, Thanksgiving time frame, and I'm just going to lay them on top. And this is a great way, in case your edges look a little bit funny, maybe your pastry's a little bit shorter, there's little rips in it, don't worry about it, cover it over with a little leaf. Then I'm just going to cut some air holes in the middle, just let the steam get out. Just do 4 of those. And then I'm going to place 4 more leaves in the middle. Now one thing I do with all my pies is give it a good egg wash before it goes into the oven. And this just makes sure that it gets a really lovely, shiny golden brown. Fantastic, this guy is ready to go. I usually pop it into the fridge while I'm waiting for the oven to preheat. Bake your pie in a nice hot oven. Pastry loves a hot oven. 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for roughly 45 to 55 minutes or until a lovely golden brown and bubbly. So remember, I just did my top tips video for baking pies. You want to put a tray in the oven before you put in your pie. Let it get nice and hot, and that will ensure that the base of your pie cooks really well. Also, this pie freezes. You can put it into the freezer for up to 4 weeks, and you can put it in raw, unbaked, or you can put it in baked. And if you want to get ahead of yourself, you can make it today and then bake it off the next day. This looks amazing. This is a 10-pound pie without a doubt. I don't know what myself and Kevin are going to do. It is gorgeous, it's beautiful golden brown. My pastry didn't shrink, which is a sign of a great pastry, so I'm super happy about that. This is gorgeous, it smells amazing. What I want to do though is just set it aside, let it cool down for maybe 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to cut ourselves some. So look at all those gorgeous layers that we built in this pie. A little bit of sweet, savory, salty ham. This is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Without a doubt, this is a seriously impressive pie. Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously, I kind of feel like I cheated a little bit with this dish because I took something that was awesome, Thanksgiving dinner with loads of different flavors, and I wrapped it in a buttery, flaky pastry. There's no way this was not going to be absolutely delicious. I say forget those turkey sandwiches this year and make for your family and friends a delicious Thanksgiving leftover pie. You will not be sorry. So great news, the holiday baking headquarters is in full swing over on my website. It has every recipe you're going to need for the holiday season, so head over there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here really soon for more bigger, bolder baking.